All right, so now we're ready to do the neck of the rower. We got the slide done. Same thing as we did with the slide, though. The first thing we want to do is clean it off. This one is quite dirty. Somebody loved chalk was on this thing recently, apparently. So we'll wipe it nice and clean. Make sure it's dry. You can just use water to clean these off too. You don't need to use a detergent or anything. I got one side that's kind of wet. The other side is dry. But just want a nice clean surface for that decal. All right, so onto the decal itself. So we have our nice decal. It's got cutouts here to help you line up the middle. And a cutout here as well for where the handle holder goes. So we're going to use that to kind of line it up. I'm going to attempt to anyways, take the backing out of the middle section of this, so then we can start in the middle and then kind of work each side independently after that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the middle as well. That way when I go to do it, it's not in the way. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a little bit over. Typically when you go to rip this, it doesn't tear quite straight, so we'll overdo it a little bit. Hopefully leave that middle pretty clear. Yeah, it's kind of getting narrow on us. So we'll do the same thing from the other side. See if we can't make them meet up. If you had somebody helping you, you could probably peel the whole thing, the whole decal itself, and set it. But if you're like me, you're doing it by yourself in between classes, this is probably your best bet. So let's see if we can get this handle to kind of stick up out of the way. Maybe, kind of, not really. All right, so we'll use these cutouts. The cutout for that handle holder in itself, as well as these other kind of cutouts to center it. So we're pretty close on the holder there. Now I want to check left to right using these. That looks pretty close. Looks like I'm a little bit high. Let's see how it comes out though. It looks like it's running a little bit to the side. So you just lightly kind of stick it in place till you get it lined up. You're not actually like pressing it on. That way if you have to make adjustments, it comes up pretty easy. This stuff's pretty forgiving, so you're able to pick it up. As long as you're not folding it on itself, it's usually pretty kind to you. So looking pretty even there. The cutout's just a little bit small, so it's causing these little bit of bubbles around it. I'm not overly concerned with that at the moment. We'll come back later with a knife and kind of clean that up and then finish pressing that down. But for right now, we'll just get the main body of it on. Make sure we're in a good spot. That way it's going to wrap around okay. Using our squeegee again to kind of press that on. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about those wrinkles at the moment. Go get my knife later. We'll come back and just trim that up around it. I'm going to try to pull this backing off. And work this side now. Some of it got stuck a little bit under here as well. That's part of my problem. You can kind of see there was a little bit stuck up onto the top even. Get that tucked in behind. So same thing as we did with the slide on the side. We're going to have a little bit of tension on this decal, so that way it can lay flat and do what it needs to do. We don't want to just stick it down loose, right? Then we're going to end up with our bubbles and stuff. So keeping a little tension on it, just kind of pull it down and lightly tack it. So then I can come back with my squeegee and actually press it on. Nice little line there. Work it. Try to work any bubbles or any creases that I have out. I'm applying just a light pressure with this. If you're having to press too hard, it's probably not lined up right. Should be able to just walk that stuff out with just a light pressure. Now down here at the end, where you can't really see on the camera, but there's a screw that's right here where my finger is. So I'm going to kind of use my fingernail to push in where that screw is on the decal, and then I'm going to back it out and use my scissors. I'm just going to make a little cutout, so it's going to go around that screw. Down here by the feet cradles, I'm not too concerned anybody's going to notice. If you want to be real pro about it, you could take that screw out, put the decal on, make a little cutout, and then run that screw back through. That would be the cleanest way to do it for sure for us. So my little square cutout will work just fine. Pressed on there. Do what I can for this part. Again, it's something I'm going to have to come back ultimately and trim on the top and the bottom, but the side came out pretty well. So looking at the side there, now you can see my little cutout that I made for that screw. Again, you could pull that screw out and then just make a little pinhole that you can run that screw back through, and it would work just as well. Other than that, pretty happy with how that looks. It's real clean. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm sure we'll get some chalk on it pretty soon. All right, now we'll work this side as well. So I'm going to pull the backing off. You can see that screw again real well now. Pull our backing. We're going to get the decal past the foot there. Same thing, we're going to put a little tension on it. Loosely set it. I'm going to work from the middle up. It looks like I'm going to have to do some resetting on the bottom, so I'm going to get the top where I want it and then work on the bottom. If you do get a little wrinkle like that, just back it up. See if we can get this a nice start from the top. So I'm kind of working down and over, but mainly down because I want it to make that turn. I got a little bit of a wrinkle here on top. That's just from the cutout being a little bit small. It's causing it to bunch up right there. So I'm not too concerned about it. Again, we're going to come back with a knife. Should be able to, once I clear that, this should all come out as well. I'm going to go ahead and make my slit for my screw. So I kind of push on it to mark it with my fingernail. Now I come back and just cut out a little rectangle.